All right, moving on. We have another one of these little short riffs. This one is going to be very educational for me. I need this. It's handling marital conflicts. As a married man, I need to learn how to handle my conflicts. So this should be educational for all of us, really. We should get a lot out of this. So together, my friends, let's learn. Let's learn how to handle our marital conflicts. McGraw-Hill Book. A lot of these are from the McGraw-Hill Book Company.
It couldn't happen. It wouldn't happen. But
or would
it?
it?
Illustrating some constructive and destructive ways of handling marital conflicts. Let's suppose that there's an argument going on at the Adams house.
You know, this one you see in the window. The one that's obviously, clearly going on.
Over at the Canes.
Look, I'm sorry I slept with Jim, all right?
For a moment. First,
same argument.
It's only money. Let's just throw it all away.
It's only a budget. It's not sacred.
Not with you around.
Me? Who does all the scraping and scrounging to keep us on that precious budget? I suppose it was you who shopped in 4 different grocery stores to save.
And over at the Adams house.
You don't realize of it, but I shopped in 4 different grocery stores today just to save a penny here, a penny there, and a dime somewhere else.
You figure I don't know why you spend so much time on the food part of it? I mean, you figure whatever you save there is yours.
Oh, yes! I am very underhanded. Sure, I scrimp on the groceries just so I can have some money of my own. $2 or $3 whole dollars a month. But you...
Well, hey, I mean, with inflation back then, that was like the equivalent of 50, 60 bucks.
The Adamses and the Canes are at it
that
again.
poor newspaper. What did it do to either one of you?
Similar, that in switching
Jerks.
from one house to the other, not a thread is lost.
Well, that's not entirely true. The other house is much quieter. Let's go back there.
Calm discussion. But as you can see, neither the Adamses nor the Canes are using the best way right now. But
One of these days,
one of these pairs will begin to handle their conflict constructively, working toward a solution for their differences. The other couple will let the conflict handle them, so that hostility mounts.
See,
and a solution is
what I'm
farther
picking up
away
on
than
here
ever.
is the other
See if
couple
you can tell which
are
one
trained actors, and these
couple
two are
is
fresh out of
arguing
acting school, and they're just
constructively.
building that
Which
drama.
pair
Because you gotta go over the
is
top. You
arguing
gotta make sure you feel it. You
My
gotta make
big
sure.
fat allowance, as you call it, all goes for carfare to get me to work.
All right. That is what burns me up. I mean, there is no place for any leeway. We have ourselves strapped in a straitjacket.
Going overboard for a vacation won't help that.
I don't call it going overboard.
Also, you shouldn't yell in her ear, dude. It's kind of a douche move.
The circumstances. Look, just once I want to have the best. You have the best when you buy a new suit.
Oh, boy, back to that. I bought one good suit in my life, and I've worn it for 3 years. That's extravagant. But
I mean,
Acapulco?
I don't own a
Now,
suit.
That makes sense. Now, look, you know my suit has nothing to do with this, so let's just forget it.
Okay.
God!
You can't say that a real vacation doesn't make sense. Not when we have the money, and not when it's the only chance we're going to have for years.
Is that what's bothering you, the fact that we're going to be tied down? Look, if that's what's eating
Look.
you, let's talk about that, not about spending every cent in the savings account.
It's not eating me.
You guys would get a lot farther if you would just talk. You don't have to yell every sentence. Like, God.
That a baby's going to keep you at home. The responsibilities are going to pile up.
Exactly. Think of the hospital bills and furniture and stuff for the baby.
Is that what's bothering you? How much it's going to cost?
It actually is quite expensive. I have 3 kids. They are exquisitely expensive.
It's for $2.98 less than somebody else.
You are acting like a ninny.
How dare you! My mother was a ninny!
On a vacation. Does he think it's all right?
I don't know. I didn't ask. But I'm just a ninny.
Hey, you did say it, bro.
I'm sorry, you're not the ninny. I'm the ninny for letting you get me so worked up. Look, I understand how you feel.
Okay, good,
I'd
we're
like
talking
to break
now.
loose from the grind while we still can. But we're gonna need every penny, and we're gonna have less because you won't be working anymore.
Aha! You admit it. You said you'd like to break loose. You want to get away just as much as I do.
I never said I didn't. I said, do we have to go whole hog? And you jumped up on your high horse.
I beg your pardon. You said a budget is a budget, and I thought that meant the trip was just off.
Well, it's not. Not unless you insist on going to the ends of the earth.
Well, I don't insist on anything. I mean, I am willing to go anywhere I decide.
Yeah, see?
I mean, we decide.
If you two would have just talked.
Away.
I did not. Did I?
See, we've learned something.
I said we.
We've learned something.
I did.
Let's go. These are educational films. We have a lot we can learn from yours. Although he should probably quit smiling like a douche. It's gonna. Oh, never mind. No, she's smiling now. We're good. We're good. We're good. It's been diffused. We're fine. We're fine.
But I know we've got to be reasonable about it.
Well, then for Pete's sakes, let's argue about what we can do, huh?
Let's take that trip to the dairy farm.
I tell you what you can do.
You always do.
You can stop acting like a martyr every time I inject a little common sense into the discussion.
Common sense.
That was the wrong choice of words. That's
no,
mistake.
Listening to what I have to say, and you call that common sense.
Well, what is there to listen to? You walk into the room and announce
Again,
we're
dude.
going to Mexico.
Wow. So this is a divorce waiting to happen.
Well, that wouldn't hurt for once. Do you have to make all of the decisions?
Oh, come on. Don't be so silly. Talk facts, will you?
You want facts. What about the car? You bought what you wanted, didn't you? Oh, it's all right for me to work for cars and vacations. But I don't have any say.
Not when what you have to say is just plain stupid.
Oh,
Picking out
dude.
a car because it's blue.
Stupid. So
Yep.
stupid, I'm in charge of my own department.
Lady, just leave him. He ain't worth trying to
Thought that'd
save.
Come out. Your fine job. Well, let me tell you, I'm fed up with hearing about your fine job.
Yep.
You knew when you married me that it would take time for me to...
Girl, you
Put
need to
up in the
ditch that
company.
zero. Get yourself a
That was all
hero.
right when you were trying to hook me. Now it's new carpets, new cars, big trips, any excuse for you to keep on working. Because
So,
that's
Frank, what I'm hearing here is you feel inadequate, and you're taking that out on Cheryl.
How would you know what I really want?
Oh, snap dog. She just said you ain't satisfied her in years.
Nicer things in life.
the nicer things. Well, what are they? More furniture? A new carpet? Have
He
you
is
ever
obsessed with
heard
carpets.
Of a family? Of children? Or aren't they nice enough?
That's a
But that would mean she has to touch you, and you're a
Especially since
douche.
It was your idea to wait until you got established, until we had a family.
My idea? That's a laugh. My idea was to wait until you grew up a little. A fine mother you'd make.
Oh,
Your own
yo,
mother
this
would be
guy.
spoiled.
Leave her out of this.
Kick him in the junk,
I pay
Jesus.
for her rent and her groceries, don't I? Oh, maybe I shouldn't mention that. Maybe that's one of the nicer things in life that I haven't got sense enough to appreciate.
Throw your coffee in his face. This guy's a dick.
Brother, tears. That just solves everything.
With both the Canes and the Adamses, it's clear that there is much more involved here than the disagreement over money with which the quarrels began. This is usually true of most marital conflicts.
Yeah, and just a little
It's
side
also
note.
apparent that the heat
Don't
of
talk
the
down
war
and
has
aggressively
nothing
to your
do with whether
partner.
it
Like,
solves
just talk
anything.
things out.
The hot-headed Adamses bear this out.
Oh, no. Can't do it. Might be bad for you and the baby. How about here?
Oh, no. That's too close to Aunt Helen. You know, if she ever heard we went through and didn't stop. Besides,
That's true,
getting
I hate
back
Aunt
to the
Helen.
relatives is the last thing. Oh, see, there's the lake the Smiths raved about. What do you think about that?
So maybe I was
It's
wrong.
decided that the
Maybe, I said they shouldn't yell at each other. Maybe I was wrong, because they're getting things out there. They're expressing themselves. They're getting. Maybe the key here is when you're upset with your partner, scream at them for half an hour, and then you'll be fine.
Discord between the Canes,
This dude's
although not
talking in a
loud,
reasonable tone of
didn't
voice, but he's a
yet
douche.
and left both of them feeling
Yeah, just
worse
scream.
than
Just
ever.
scream at your partner. That's
What makes
the
a
cops will
quarrel
understand when they're called. It's
destructive?
fine.
Let's back up and note some of the damaging elements of the
I didn't mean to hit
Canes'
the mouse. I
quarrel.
apologize.
The most damaging element in any conflict is not knowing the real
Also, I think it's
issue.
snowing in their family.
Are
room.
the
See that?
Canes quarreling
Right there.
about money? Or a vacation?
right. Up
Or
there it
the
is.
car
Right there.
they bought last summer? Or the family they don't have? Nobody knows, least of all the Canes. Whatever the real issue is, it is repeatedly sidetracked.
Well, that wouldn't hurt for once. Do you have to make all of the decisions?
The
I
Canes
do.
not only allow
I do.
themselves to get sidetracked into dead issues, they also get sidetracked into
Okay, well,
personality.
who picked that rooster on the
Well,
wall
what you
back
have
there?
to say is
Because they
just
should have a
plain
little bit less
stupid.
say.
Picking out a car because it's blue.
From attacking
Yep.
personalities, it's only a short step to hitting below the belt.
Stupid! So stupid, I'm in charge of my own department.
And once the
Oh,
hitting
snap,
gets
she's better than
below
you.
the belt, outright hostility, the urge to hurt the other person as badly as you've been hurt, comes to the fore.
My idea was to wait until you grew up a little. A fine mother you'd make. Even your own mother admits you're spoiled.
Leave her out of this.
Why should I? I pay for her rent and her groceries, don't I?
Nowhere in the Kane's argument was there any attempt
okay,
to understand.
so I'd like to make fun of this more, because like that, I love making fun of like 1950s values since they were fucked up and wrong. But this is actually some good advice. This is decent. Yeah.
Over at the Adamses, tension worked itself out to the point where they could laugh at themselves. Why?
We're so
What did
dumb.
they do to handle the conflict? Let's go back and note the things which helped. First of all, after some preliminary sparring, the Adamses zeroed in on the issue. Should we or should we not take a vacation?
Is you is, or is you ain't
Some
my
effort,
baby.
But they stuck to the issue as closely as they could while under emotional stress.
Now that makes sense. Now look, you know my suit has nothing to do with this, so let's just forget.
Okay. But you can't say
I don't like that suit, though.
Not when
A
we
dead issue which could have sidetracked them was disposed of by mutual consent, and an effort was made on both sides to try to understand the other person's viewpoint.
This is solid-ass advice. You go, 1950s. You got one right.
To make sure that
Let's
what the
not
other
watch
was
any more
saying
videos of them
was
talking about
understood.
sexual harassment.
What's bothering you? How much it's gonna cost? I can see us now haggling with doctors.
Sometimes the Adamses lapsed off into personalities, even name-calling, but they never resorted to red
The
flag
ninny.
words such as stupid and spoiled, the way
I mean,
the Kanes did.
Ninny is kind of
You
synonymous
are
with
acting
stupid,
like a
so...
ninny.
And when Adams realized he had fallen into the common practice of name-calling,
I don't know, I didn't ask. But I'm just a ninny.
You're not the ninny. I'm the
He said
ninny
sorry.
for letting
I
you
just
get me so worked
recap
up.
because that was a bad cut.
without
But
a
he
break
said
in
sorry.
the argument, the statement was retracted. An apology was offered. There was no necessity then for retaliation, for hitting below the belt, for hurting someone because you've been hurt yourself.
Then she slapped him.
Hostility was kept in check, so that when the tension exploded, it could explode harmlessly with both of them laughing at themselves.
And I thought that meant the trip was off.
Well, it's not. Not unless you insist on going to the ends of the earth.
I don't insist on going anywhere. I mean, I'll go anywhere that I decide.
Ha-ha!
I mean, we decide to go.
Oh. I thought this was going to go differently, with the screamers
Even
being
though
the a-holes.
Adamses may be
Well done.
childish enough to
Well
slam
done,
things
Short.
and yell, they still show a mature willingness to compromise. Mrs. Adams, who started out wanting a trip to Acapulco, was willing to settle for less. And Mr. Adams, who apparently wanted to take no trip at all in the beginning, was willing to consider some kind of vacation after all. The Adamses established a basis for discussion, which is the ideal way of handling conflict. Neither
And then coronavirus struck, and they were stuck inside the house. Sorry, had to throw it in somewhere. That's my no more talk. We'll keep the news out of this. It's fine.
Through compromise. But over at the Kane, great deal seems to be lost. Energy, time, self-respect, understanding. If you
Self-respect?
are
Well, I'm in luck. I
such
never had that to begin
unhappiness
with.
in your life, it's important to understand why the Kane's quarrel was so damaging. Quarrels of the Kane type damage a relationship because the real issue is never established. They do not stick to the point. They do not
1950s PowerPoint,
understand
ladies and
each
gentlemen.
other. They hurt each other. They will not compromise.
They will
The Adamses
get
have
divorced.
reached a point where they can kiss and make up with no great harm done because the real issue was established. They stuck to the point. They understood each other. They did not hurt each other. They were
And they
willing to
yelled.
compromise.
Maybe I'm taking the
When
wrong
you marry,
lesson from this.
You will have conflicts with your marriage partner. With two individuals, 2 points of view, it would be impossible not to disagree sometimes, and unrealistic not to learn how to handle marital conflicts. Learning the techniques now is better than learning them later, the hard way. How
With
many
counselors.
of the suggestions for minimizing the damages
Not that there's anything wrong going to have
can
going to
you
a couples counselor. Remember,
Are there
all
any other
relationships take
suggestions
work.
you can
No one
add
is
for
perfect.
handling marital conflicts
I'm going to throw
without
something else in here, though. Remembering that each opinion is equal and that no one is always right. Men. God, we're just the worst. All right. That was 1964, so it wasn't the 50s. Sorry, 50s, I'm retracting your credit and I'm giving it to the 60s. That was some pretty good advice there. That was,